The Greek Nationals 2024 happened around 1 month ago. This is my last competition of the year, so can I break some PRs? Or perhaps even get a podium if I'm lucky, or no? But let's start from the beginning with 2x2 round 1. So first off, with 2x2 round 1, I did not do as well as I would want. My average is not that bad. I did a 406, which could have been better. It's not close to being PR, but I still kind of like it. The sad part is that since this is the Nationals, it is way harder to go through to the finals than it would be if it was a random local comp. And the really sad part is that if I solved a bit better, like the solves I do at home, I may have been able to go through to the finals. But it's okay, I didn't really practice 2x2, so I am not sad. So then we had 7x7 finals, which, if you know anything about me, I do not do this event. I am incredibly bad at it, so I DNF'd out of time limit. Also, then we had 3x3 blindfolded, which I did not practice at all before the competition, and I've forgotten how to do it, so I did not even sign up for it. So after some time passing with events that I am terrible at, we go to 4x4 first round. Now here I performed pretty well, I would say. I had 2 45 solves, 2 51s and one that was just horrible. Now these 2 45s were pretty good solves, I would say. It could have been PR if my average was a bit better. I only needed to be 1 second faster for my average for it to be PR, but I'm not complaining. I could not go through to the finals again because going through the people that go through, the amount is so little. I think it's top 12 for everything, and I am just not good enough on these events. So yeah, now it's time for the break. After coming back to the competition after the break, it's time for 3x3 one-handed, which is one of the events that I did not practice at all. I literally did 0 solves, and somehow I ended up getting a PR, which I did not expect at all. I got a 33 average. My previous PR was also a 33, but this one was slightly better, so it counts as PR. I was very lucky and did a 25, which was a very good solve, and 2 30s to make the average good. So I expected nothing. This was the 100 finals, by the way, so no first round. But yeah, I had 0 expectations for this, and I am kind of surprised that I got a PR here and not on the previous events. Next up is Clock Finals. So this is the first event that I actually really care about. This is one of 4 events that I would like to get a pretty good result. So here I did not do as well as I would want. I did an 687 average, which is not that bad, but considering at home I do high 5s and low 6, this average was not good for me. I had a 586 solve, which that's like my average solve, but I only had 1 of these, so yeah, I had a counting 7, which also kind of ruined the average. So this gave me 6th place overall, 5th from the Greeks, because, just a quick reminder, since this is the Greek Nationals, all foreign competitors, they can compete, but in the end, if they would, for example, get 2nd place, they wouldn't be awarded the medal. So one of the people above me was a foreigner, so I ended up in 5th place. The really sad part is that if I solved as well as I do at home, I would be able to get a podium, because 3rd place had a 6.17. I can do that. I do this very often at home. So I had a podium chance, but I kind of ruined it. So, oh well. There are more events later, so I was kind of sad, but I knew that this was just the start of the competition. So then we have Square 1 first round. So Square 1 is one of the events that I would like to do well. I am not that good at it. I don't practice it that much, but it's still one of the events that I practice the most. So I did a PR average here. So it was a 24.93, which is still bad. I would like to do a 22 or a 23 for this round and the finals, because I got through to the finals with a 14th place, since the top 15 go to the next phase. And in both this round and in the finals, I struggled a lot with parities. So this average could have been better without parities, but I'm not complaining. I also got a 19, which was pretty close to being a PR single, but it wasn't. So I'm happy. After what happened with Clock, I'm happy that I'm to the finals and that I didn't bottle it. Megaminx finals is next, and I do not care about Megaminx. The last time I saw the Megaminx was back in May, in my previous competition that had the event. So I had absolutely no expectations. I did 2 solves which were pretty average, but I have nothing to say. I do not care about it. And now for my final event of the day, Square One Finals. So yeah, here this was horrible with a 29.33 average. The solves were very bad. Like, literally all of them had parities. I did an 18, which was very close to being PR. My PR is 18.52, I did an 18.67, which is kind of sad that it's not PR. But I had a 54 on the average. I had a counting 31. It just didn't go well. I did not solve as well as I wanted, and the parities wrecked every single good opportunity that I had. If I didn't have the parities, I would have a PR on the single. The first solve would have been like a 20 something and not a 54, because that happened because I messed up the party out. So I would have gotten a normal first solve, and the other 3 would also be a bit lower. So maybe I would have gotten a PR average as well, but that's just luck. I ended up getting a 13th spot, which is 1 spot higher than the first round. Okay, but yeah, that was day 1. Let's go into day 2. So here we go. For Sunday, we start with 3x3 round 1. So 3x3 works a little bit differently than all the other events. So some of the more common events like 2x2 and 4x4, they have 2 rounds, first round and the finals, where the top 15 competitors go to the finals. And some less known events, such as Megaminx, 6x6, 7x7 and such, they only have 1 round. So 3x3 has 3 rounds, first round, second round and the finals. So this is the first round out of the 3 total. So here I did 13 average, which is kind of bad, or not bad, it's like meant bad for me. But ultimately I don't really mind, because I am through to the second round. I was expecting to go through, I am through, and I will have a chance to redeem myself later, so I don't care. So, for the next 2 events, 5x5 and 6x6, I expected nothing because I do not practice them. Again, I do not do big cubes and Megaminx and the blind events. I prefer smaller events because they just end faster and they're not boring. So for 5x5, I did a 154.39 average. I started off pretty bad, I should say, with 157, 158 to 158, which I couldn't say that I was bothered about, because I knew they were slow. Compared to my PR average, which is 150, I knew I could do better. But then I guess I got back to the flow with the last solves and got 143, 147, but I couldn't care less about this event. 6x6 was also a similar story. Here though, I managed to get a PR single with a 442. Here though, I did not pass the cutoff, which I could have passed it perhaps if I was a bit faster in certain spots of the solve, but okay, as I said, these are not the events I care for. So now it's time for the break, and after that we go to the first event of the day that I actually really care about. It is Pyraminx. So here for the first round I did a 506 average, which is not good enough to be a PR, but it is certainly good enough to get me to the finals, since I got the 7th spot. Here there was a scramble that I did a 436 on, which was ridiculously easy. Everybody else was getting 2s on it, and I knew what to do to get the 2. I just did a wrong move. Instead of doing a right move, I did a left move or something similar, I don't remember. And because of that, I lost 2 seconds because I had to fix the mistake and then solve it. So I am a bit sad about that, but ultimately I am through to the finals, and Pyraminx is an event that if I'm lucky and if others don't really solve that well, I can get a podium. So I'm really excited to see what will happen. 3x3 second round is next. I had no expectation to get to the finals. This is the Greek Nationals, and there literally everybody cares about 3x3, so there was basically no chance I would make it through to the finals. Still, I improved upon my first round performance, doing a 12.73, which is an okay average. It is sad that I couldn't get a PR, but my PR is very hard to break for me. It's an 11.11, and which I broke in my previous competition, but this is so good for me. I just cannot beat it, so I did not expect to break it. I was hoping maybe a miracle can happen and I would break it like the other time, but it doesn't matter. Even if I did, even if I broke my PR and I would have gotten a 10 average, I would still not be going to the finals, so it doesn't really matter. Now we go into a part of the competition that was very intense for me. So the other event apart from Pyraminx that I care about that was today is Scube. These are the 2 events that I'm good at. So we go with Scube round 1, Pyraminx finals and Scube finals. So, one event at a time. Scube first round went okay for me with a 505 average. I average high 4 at home. It could have been better, but it is good enough to get me to the finals. That's all that matters at this stage. So Pyraminx finals is here. I would hope to get a podium, but I guess it was not going to happen. My average was 5.27, which is bad for me. And the really sad thing is, I had a counting 6. If I didn't have that counting 6, I could have gotten the podium. Since the P4 in the standings, since P3 is a foreigner, so we don't count him, has a 4.89. Now, if you see my 2 solves, I was on pace to be able to get it. I had a 480 and a 496 counting. If I would have gotten anything regular that I get home, like a 450, 460, I would be on the Greek Nationals podium. But I just had to get a 6, and it was all lost. So at this stage I was a bit sad for Pyraminx. It's time for Scube finals. So here I actually did kind of well. I could have gotten a better time, but this is the first PR of the day in an event that I care about. So 450 average, which was very much better than the first round, it was way better than that. With 3 counting 4s, pretty consistent, well if you exclude that 6. I got 5th place, but since we have 1 foreigner, I move up to 4th. Now you may think, oh, you got 4th again, this is very sad, you could have gone the podium. Well, I had a very big gap with 3rd place. I had a 450, he had a 377, so it's not exactly that it was close, so I'm not as sad as I was in Pyraminx, because there was actually a chance for me to get it. But okay, it doesn't matter. It's still a PR, and I'm happy about that. And that was it. After that, we go to 3x3 finals, which I am not capable of to get in it. So that was the competition for me. Overall, my results were not as good as I would have hoped. I managed to break a pretty low amount of PRs comparing to my previous competition, which I haven't made a vlog about because I just don't have enough time, and now the Nationals came, so I just forget it, I'm not doing it. I broke every single one of my PRs, 16 out of 16. Now I had 4 PRs, which is kind of low. Also, I missed a potential chance for a podium 2 times, both on Clock and on Pyraminx. But I'm not sad. I had a very good time. I saw a lot of people that I don't get to see often, and I was really happy that I had the opportunity to compete in such an event. Now, congratulations to all the winners, all the people who podiumed, and all the competitors in general. I'm looking forward for the next year. 2025 will be a very nice year. The first competition that I'm going to is already announced. Trikala Open 2025. This is the first time the WCA is going to Trikala, and I will be there, and I'm very happy to start off the year like this. So stay tuned, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if you're watching this when it is posted, and I will see you guys next year.
Και στην πρώτη θέση, ο νικητής του Εθνικού Πρωταθλήματος Ταχυκυβισμού, ο πρωταθλητής για την Ελλάδα φέτος, χωρίς τα μαγικά γυαλιά του, ο Γιάννης ο Γρηγορόπουλος.
La calle